Hello, gentlemen. This is Nemo. Take a good look at this photo. Yes, I have creatively edited out my ex-fiance, her face, her image. Focus instead on this giant blob to the other side of the woman. This was me around Valentine's Day this year, sometime early to mid-February. 300 pounds, totally unhealthy. And you can see how grotesque my face was, how big every bit of me was. And you can only not see how severe my weight was because I had on this hoodie. This was the bottom. This was rock bottom for me. And here I am today. If you've seen my channel for any period of time, then you've seen me at that point of slovenliness. And looking back, I don't understand how I let myself go so poorly. I've been a big guy my whole life. Food was always a crutch for me. And I was always extremely unhappy. But never wanted to do anything about it. I just kept putting it on and putting it on. Now, right now, I stand at about 236 pounds. I'm 5'9" tall. In 2013, I was at my lowest weight for a long time, which was 215 pounds, which so happened to be after my divorce, where I wasn't eating, and I was still very unhealthy. And then when I jumped into my relationship, my most recent relationship, I just let myself go again. You know, that should have been a precursor in my mind. I should have realized that maybe I was just giving up because I thought that, you know, that was the be all end all for me, that relationship. But that is not what this video is about, gentlemen. This video is about that we need to wise up to our health. Is what happened this year in May, about 3 months after that picture that I showed you was taken. I went to the doctor and hopped on the scale and saw that I weighed 304 pounds. And that was just the first blow to me. The second was that the doctor, when he came in, looked at me and then at my then fiance and said, you know, one day you're going to walk into the house and you're going to see him laying dead on the couch. He's going to fall asleep and he's never going to wake up between his weight and his sleep apnea, which it's not a question of if he has it, but how severely does he have it. And, you know, that gentleman, when you come face to face with your own mortality in that kind of situation, it cuts you very deeply in your psyche and in your, you know, just in your physical well-being too. I mean, you can immediately feel the effects of all of the years of abuse that you've put your body through, whether it's just from poor diet or lack of exercise or what have you. And it makes you wake up. And pretty much immediately, I started cutting out some of those poor habits in my life. We were at a point where we were eating fast food for every meal of every day. Not only does that put a strain on your finances, that putting that amount of processed garbage in your body is just extremely detrimental to your health and your well-being. I was drinking at least a 12-pack of soda a day, full sugar. You know, that's 12, at least at the very least 1,200 calories of pure sugar. And I started slowly cutting those things out of my life. I stopped eating fast food. I started counting calories. I think I started at like 3,000 a day, which is a lot. It's a lot of fucking calories a day. And when I was actually counting these things, I was seeing how much I was actually putting in my body, and was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? So I bumped it down to 2,500 and did that for a couple weeks, and then 2,000. And I'm now at the point where I don't even bother counting calories. I just know what I'm putting in my body. And, when it becomes apparent to me that I've put enough fuel in, I'd stop consuming. And I switched. I don't eat so much red meat anymore, even though I enjoy it quite a bit. I eat a lot of chicken. I eat a lot of fish, salmon, really, because I don't like a whole lot of fish. But there are some things I didn't have to cut out, like peanut butter. I eat a shitload of peanut butter. I stopped consuming dairy. I don't really like dairy to begin with. I don't like milk or cheese. But I switched to almond milk. And the biggest thing is all I started doing for exercise was walking. Well, where I was working at the time is in these old buildings that were part of an old ammunition plant. And there are two very long, about a quarter of a mile, long building. And I would just walk between the buildings on all of my breaks. And I just started seeing the results. The pounds started shedding. I immediately started feeling better. Like I could do activities without feeling the need to stop and sit down. And if I wouldn't have gone to see a doctor, and I wouldn't have gotten that kick in the ass from a medical professional, I would probably still be a 300-pound fat piece of shit, still chained in a relationship I didn't want to be in. I wouldn't have, had the courage to do something about this temple that I've been blessed with, about this meat suit. And I was just abusing myself. I was abusing myself. And I was allowing it to happen because I saw myself as too weak to change it. But gentlemen, this is the point, is that you cannot abuse your temple. It's the only thing you have. It is one of the few things that you have complete and total control of. Unless somebody's just wrenching open your jaw and shoveling fucking cupcakes down it, you have about complete control over what your body is. There are some things that genetically we can't control. I mean, you can't control your metabolism. My metabolic rate is shit. It always has been. But, there are certain things that you can do with a little research. There are supplements you can take to boost your metabolism. There are certain foods that boost your metabolism. And honestly, you could eat salad all day long and not stop eating salad, as long as you're not putting, a bunch of fucking full-fat ranch dressing on top of it. But you can eat a big bowl of leafy greens all day long and not gain a fucking pound. And, that will actually help your system. It helps your digestion. There are these simple things that we can do to properly give maintenance to this meat suit that we walk around in. And I think that a lot of men just don't give a fuck. I mean, unless you're super into lifting or, exercising all the time or being very active, most men don't give a fuck. They just don't care. They'll shovel in that Taco Bell and they'll keep chugging along. But maybe don't. I'm in no way a fucking expert, but I have lost 70 pounds in 7 months. And I didn't do some fancy fad diet. I just did the simple thing of counting my calories and doing more physical activity. And it just has to be walking. You don't have to fucking go to the gym. You don't have to fucking lift, although that would help. That helps build your, muscle mass. It helps build your definition, but you don't have to. You can just walk. You can just walk as long as you're not putting garbage into your system and you're moving around. You will become infinitely more healthy than you are sitting at home eating Doritos on your couch doing nothing. And I have one more thing to show before I call this video done. I just recently bought a new belt. This is my old belt. I've had for, I don't know, probably a year and a half. This was a belt for up to a 54-inch waist. And I've used every loop on this belt. And I will show you. It's a wonder that these two first belt loops are not broken off. I was so fucking fat. Look at how worn this is. But you can tell every belt loop has been utilized on this belt. And I recently have just lost so much that I've had to add 3 additional little belt loops with an awl from my Swiss Army knife. But I'm going to keep this as a reminder of when I was 304 pounds and slowly but surely knocking on death's door. And I will be reminded that I am worth doing the work for. I don't lose the weight to be more attractive to the opposite sex. I do not lose the weight to stack bitches on top of bitches. I do not even lose the weight for any kind of vanity on my own behalf. I'm not a terrible looking guy, but when I weighed 300 pounds, I was a pretty slovenly looking piece of shit. But that is just, it's just an auxiliary gain to me. The thing that matters the most, and the thing that we need to realize, gentlemen, when we're dealing with our health, is this: if you can improve your quality of life, you will boost your happiness. If you are a father, that is more time you will spend with your children. You don't want to be buried before your time, before you get to see your children grow up. This is more opportunity for me to pursue the things that I love doing, especially in the outdoors, which I'm a avid enthusiast of being in nature and hiking and kayaking and camping and riding my mountain bike. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that at 300 pounds. The most exercise you want to do is lift the remote and go ahead and not have to wait 13 seconds for the next episode of whatever stupid show you're going to be watching on Netflix. You have one chance at life. So the whole fat and happy adage, it's not worth it when you're going to die younger than you should. So wise up about your health, brothers. That's all I have to say. This is Nemo. No one. Have a great evening.